A meta-analysis is a way to pull together the populations from different studies, like a randomized control trial, into one statistical analysis, treating it as a giant study population with one conclusion. And the meta-analysis is really the creme de la creme in helping us to identify evidence-based practice. We like to have meta-analyses demonstrating consistent effects across multiple studies before we make determinations about what works. There's one giant problem with this, though. Traditionally, meta-analyses ignore high-quality studies that use single-case research design. And this is in part because the analysis was not possible. We need the numbers reported in group research design papers in order to calculate the appropriate statistic. But in single case research design, we're relying primarily on visual analysis. And so our published data show us a line graph, but we don't have the values in order to compute statistics to determine what works. Um, you know, in recent years, there have been a number of programs developed where we can extract raw data from line graphs. So we can obtain the specific values for each datum with a high degree of reliability. Because of this, we can compute statistics to quantify the magnitude of change and the magnitude of difference between phases. There are a number of commercially available programs that allow us to extract data from line graphs nowadays. One of the ones that I like to use a lot is called Digitize It, and I provided a link for it in the supplemental materials for this week. I can also try to dig up a poster for you where we presented data that was a meta-analysis of single case research design, just so you can see how we use Digitize It to obtain the raw data. Dr. Shadish, who recently passed away, was one of the researchers who really pioneered the statistical procedures for using meta-analyses of single-case research design. He was an absolutely brilliant mind and a lovely man, and I'm just privileged to have learned from him. But I mention him because if you're really interested in meta-analysis of single case research design, you should look up and read some of his work. Meta-analysis of single case research design is honestly, it's going to be unlikely to be covered on your BCBA exam. So it's something that you might pull like a Dumbledore for, right? Like learn it for this course and then sort of get it out of your brain to make room for other things. Wow, I'm a little nerdy. But I guess you knew that. I'm talking about meta-analysis of single case research design. Anyways, I digress. So even though meta-analysis of single case research design is highly unlikely to be on your BCBA exam, it has important implications for the field of applied behavior analysis because we want to identify individuals, interventions that work for the individuals who we serve. And if meta-analyses are the creme de la creme, right? If we can have multiple studies documenting that an intervention is effective and shaping evidence-based practice, it's important that single case research design is considered in that. Take for consideration the limitations of group design that we talked about earlier in the semester. In group research design, you're basically taking large groups of participants and calculating mean improvements. So we're not getting any information about the individual. So meta-analyses of single case research design is something that is super important for our field and something that more researchers need to consider. I know in recent years there have been increasing trends of single case research design and meta-analyses, and then also on articles published about methods for using meta-analysis with single case research design. And I hope that this video gave you a little bit of a bug and you kind of go and explore this topic in more detail.